getting off stuff. Make me go up and down the ladder unnecessarily. Good morning YouTube, Chris here, the Country Cottage Gardener. Welcome you back to another video. I'm actually at a new client's today. First new client for quite some time actually, and it's my first visit. And yes, they're fully aware that I do the videos and such. They're more than happy for me to film. And one of my first jobs, I'm going to be doing all the grounds maintenance here, and I'm coming once a week, every week of the year. And one of the first jobs I'm going to be doing are tackling the hedges. They're getting a little bit out of hand, and there's quite a fair few of them in the property. I'm going to be doing the road facing ones first. Let's pan the camera around and we'll have a little look at the job in question. Right, okay, we're only a few minutes in. Thought I'd just stop and have a little chat and bring something to attention about one of the things that I do when I'm looking or working on a job. Oh, the phone's going off. Now, you can, if you say this was a one-off job, this was a job which you were just coming in, cutting the hedges and going off, you could be missing the opportunity for upselling a further service, because a hedge cut isn't just a hedge cut. You could look at it as a way of getting another job out of it. And one of the ways that I do this, I don't do it so much now because I've got a fair amount of work already, but at a regular client I will be doing this anyway, as just part and parcel of my regular maintenance. But that's improving the health of this hedge. A lot of people don't really think about feeding hedgerows. They don't think about giving them a weed as well. This one is chocker with brambles. So one of the things I'm going to be doing over the winter months, once all the leaf dropped, is getting in there and trying to get all the brambles out. You know, it's going to be a bit of a fruitless, well, a bit of a task, shall we say. It won't be endless. You know, it's one of those things that brambles you will miss, more will come back, etc., because the root system is going to be difficult to get out. But you can improve overall this type of hedge, or any hedge, by trying to move as much bramble as it's unsightly. Because, as we all know, the bramble is what grows quicker than the hedgerow itself. That's if you're bothered by it, or your client's bothered by it. If you're looking at it from an eco point of view, leave it. It's a good food source for the birds. It's finding that fine balance. Somewhere like this, we're right at the front of the property. It's a little bit more unsightly. You generally want to keep it looking as tidy as possible, so you would want to remove them. But if it was in a more discreet part of the garden, leave them if you can. Anyway, just thought I'd add that to it because it's a nice little upsell for you, something that you might not have thought about. Let's continue with some cutting. about, I'd say just under half across the top. Been going for about, 20 odd minutes, I would have thought. I was speaking to Jim over in Northern Ireland yesterday. We speak a few times a month. He's become a friend. He come across my channel and made contact, and we chat occasionally about all sorts of stuff really, how each other are doing with work and new inquiries, new customers, customer problems, customer queries, that sort of thing. We joke about jobs past and experiences and such, and I'd like to share those, not just stories involving he and I, but other people's experiences, because I chat to a lot of people and you hear some really funny things. And anyway, we can chat about those as we go through the videos. But one of the things we were chatting about yesterday, I was saying about coming here today and the new jobs that I've got on and so on and so forth, and I'm going to be using the petrol echo stuff. And he's got the same hedge cutter, which he's thrilled with, but he's just moved over to battery and he's using the ego stuff. I'll be honest, it's not something that I've had. I've used battery stuff, obviously. I've got battery stuff myself, but I've not used the ego brand. So please don't ask me anything about it, because I honestly couldn't give an opinion on it. But he's thrilled with it. And one of the things we were chatting about yesterday was, it's not till you use battery and petrol together, the advantages of battery become apparent. Because it's not just a fatigue. You pick up one battery unit and then pick up the petrol equivalent, and you could really tell the difference in the weight. And of course that translates into working time fatigue on your body, and of course we could go into depth about talking about the sound impact around you and so on and so forth, and the environmental and all those sort of things. But one of the things that strikes to my mind, and we're chatting about, was the money saving eventually that it costs on fuel. We're not just talking about the immediate paying for fuel, I'm talking about during the job fuel. When I was moving the ladder a minute ago, I put my hedge cutter down and it's ticking away. All of the time that's ticking away, that's money. But with battery, you take your finger off and you're saving money straight away. It's just something that came apparent to us. I thought I'd share that little bit of conversation that we had yesterday. And as I say, he's more than thrilled with the ego stuff, as I am with the echo hedge cutter that I've got. But anyway, digress slightly. I thought I'd just add that little bit in there while I'm getting along. Trumping along here at some speed now, which is really good. The hedge itself, as this is the first time that I've cut it, I can see where it's been cut back previously, and I'm not that far off it, but it's a very uneven hedge. There's all sorts of dips and undulations and everything in it, and because this is a regular customer, I could have approached this in one of two options. I could have cut it hard back and created a height, but they do want to keep the height on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it back to thereabouts for where it was previously, and let the undulations catch up. So those bits are going to be left a little bit scraggly, but we'll leave those to catch up over due course. There we are. It's a gorgeous morning. They're going to spoil it now by using a disc cutter. Oh. I won't be able to hear myself won't be able to hear my hedge cutter over their disc cutter now. How rude. just seen the clients, they're pleased, which is good. I was chatting to them about this growth here and saying I reckoned it's about 2 years at least, and they agreed 2.5 years. I'm just getting the loppers and just taking these bits back. Oh, I could use the hedge cutter on it, of course I could, but then it could be bouncing off it for a few minutes. What's the point when you can just get your loppers? Of course it'll go through these small bits, but I'm cutting the small bits to get to the big bits. But I switched over my gloves a little while ago. When I first started I was using my thin ones. Now that I'm getting into the nitty gritty spiky stuff, I've moved over to my gold leaf gauntlets. If you want to see a video about these and the whole of them in the gold leaf range, then I'll put the video up in the tags here. You can have a little look because they've got all the wet weather ones, the dry touch, the gauntlets, tough touch and all sorts. Absolutely fantastic. Not the cheapest, but as we know with our own services, price represents quality. Well, just tidying up the last few bits, and I'm done. I went round with the tractor mower around where the hedge was, around the bottom. One, because I wanted to clean up this edge. It still needs a bit more on there. I have to go around with the strimmer next time when I cut the lawns. But it was looking untidy, and I thought, double-edged sword. I'll two birds with one stone, rather. I'll be able to cut the grass and pick up and chop up some of the clippings at the same time. Anyway, let's swing the camera around and you can have a look at the finished article. This has taken me about 4.5, 4.75 hours, something like that. Clearing up took a fair bit of time, if I'm honest. But anyway, let's have a look at the job. Here we are. Definitely not the straightest hedge in the world. We can gradually bring this back into good state over the next couple of years. I really want to get in here at some point and take out all these brambles because there's so much crop in here. I think this is the most dramatic bit down here, this end hedge, because there was some massive tall bits in here all the way through. The face of the outside had actually been done, I'd say within the last month and a half, I would have thought. I think the homeowner probably done it themselves. They've not had a gardener in here. I don't know if I said it at the beginning, but this client approached me about 2 years ago via another client, and I didn't have space, so I couldn't fit them in, and they haven't had anybody. So when I made contact and said, yeah, I've got space now, they were delighted, so that's good. Anyway, I'm actually beat. I've got one more job to go on to today, which is to go mow an acre of lawn, and that's me for the day. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching. We'll catch up again soon. Cheers.